And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm WalkTK99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. Monday night is the big night. The New York Jets host the Buffalo Bills Monday Night Football. The winner will be in first place in the AFC East at the end of the night. Both these teams coming in on two-game losing streaks. Remember, the Bills are playing their third straight road game. That's always got to be a factor. Let's break this matchup down, each side of the ball. So let's start off when the New York Jets have the football against the Buffalo Bills defense. Well, we know Todd Downing is the new play caller, so right there, you figure the Jets have to get a little bit better by default. Now, when Todd Downing was the offensive coordinator in Tennessee, he was the play caller, really, it was a lot of running and a lot of play-action passes. Now, that made sense because look what he had to work with. Ryan Tannehill at quarterback and Derrick Henry. Okay, you had an elite running back and a run-of-the-mill quarterback, so it made a lot of sense. Now, Aaron Rodgers is definitely better than Ryan Tannehill. I don't care what his age is. And Breecehall is very capable, as is Braylon Allen. It's just hard to know it by the way this offensive line has been run blocking. Because to me, it's not so much that the wrong plays are being called. It's about executing them, knowing what personnel to use at different times. And I will tell you this, against the Buffalo Bills defense, it is possible to do some damage. Let me go in a little bit of depth on this Bills defense. They have given up 342 yards per game, 20th in the NFL, 21.2 points per game allowed. That's 12th in the NFL, and only 6 teams allow more rushing yards per game than the Bills do. They're allowing 144 yards per game. And I'll give you a category the Bills defense is dead last in, yards allowed per rush. 5.2 yards allowed per rush they're allowing. You wouldn't think of that with the Buffalo Bills. They've been a pretty good defense for a while now, but the run defense is really struggling. Also, watching the last 2 weeks, the last 2 Jet disasters, what did Denver and Minnesota do? They blitzed the daylights out of Aaron Rodgers. They have the 2 highest blitz rates in the NFL, and we saw how bad the Jets were handling it. The Bills, they got the lowest blitz rate in the NFL. Well, until now anyway. So I want to see a lot of downhill running on Monday. They will have a boost. Morgan-Moses is expected to be back at right tackle. I swear to you, if the Jets can't run the ball on this defense, let's just go to the run and shoot offense. You know, the Houston Oilers of the 1990s. You know what I mean? So with Buffalo, Edoliver, one of their best defensive linemen, has not practiced this week with a hamstring injury. When you look at the pass rush, both Greg Rousseau and Von Miller are leading the team with 3 sacks. Here are the problems. All of Rousseau's sacks were in game 1 against Arizona. He hasn't had a week since. And Von Miller is still serving a suspension. He won't be playing this week. Dorianwilliams, their linebacker, that was a guy a lot of us who were doing the mock drafts wanted to see go to the Jets. The linebacker from UCLA, a team high, 54 tackles, but only 2 for a loss. So he's sort of that C.J. Mosley sort of player, not in terms of maybe his leadership just yet, because he is so young. But he makes the tackles. They just may not be the biggest impact plays. But he has stepped in for Matt Milano, who's out for the year. And don't forget Terrelbernard, the other linebacker. He returned to the Bills lineup after missing 2 games with a pec injury, but he came back in style. Last Sunday against Houston, Bernard totaled 5 tackles, a pass defended, and had a big interception as the Bills were trying to make their comeback after trailing by 17 points. Oh, the Bills were trailing by 17 also. Where have I heard that from last week before also? At cornerback, Jamarcus Ingram, 2 interceptions. Both of those came in the Miami game, which was a month ago. He also has 4 passes defended. And Christian Bedford has been a pretty reliable cornerback as well for Buffalo. Now, at safety, there's been some big changes. Both Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are gone. Now the starters are Damar Hamlin, who everybody knows, and Taylor Rapp, who just got out of concussion protocol. He will be playing in this game. And I've got one more Bills defense stat that I saved for you for the very end. The third down defense is struggling. Through 5 weeks, the Bills defense is allowing a 43.9% conversion rate on third downs. That's just 24th in the NFL. You know, we think of the Bills as having a very good defense, and it may be okay, but it's nowhere near what it's been when they had Jerry Hughes, Matt Milano, Von Miller, Tremaine Edmonds, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Trey White. This is a defense that is a lot more vulnerable than it used to be. So again, this is an opportunity for the Jets run game to get right. Now let's do what we always do. Let's Flip the script. When the Bills offense has the ball against the Jets defense. Well, the Bills offense is averaging 299 yards per game, 22nd in the NFL, and they're scoring 28.4 points per game. That's third in the NFL. So while the yardage is not up there, the point total is. The third down rate on offense, only converting 32%. That's 25th in the NFL. The biggest thing that I'm hearing from the Bills fans and the Bills podcasters is the offense under Joe Brady the last few weeks has gotten a lot more vanilla. Now, personally, I don't think vanilla is ever an insult. I think vanilla is a wonderful thing, but it's become a lot more predictable. The first 3 weeks, they were using a lot of motion, a lot of misdirection, things like that. Last 2 weeks, it's been more stagnant. It's been very Jet-esque, you might say. Now, we all know Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in football, and I don't know what he was doing back in the game after he took a very violent hit against the Houston Texans. He was in concussion protocol. He was apparently cleared by 3 independent doctors. I believe those doctors were Dr. Spock, Dr. Seuss, and Dr. J. But somehow he was allowed to go back in the game. I don't know if he's going to be playing with a full deck of cards, though. But for the season, completing 60.3% of his passes, 945 yards, 8 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. That's important. He has not thrown a pick yet this year, and he's been sacked 6 times. Their running back is James Cook. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns this year. He's averaging an impressive 4.4 yards per carry and 5.3 yards per touch. He did not practice this week with a foot injury. A lot of people are saying it is turf toe, which is the same thing that's kept C.J. Mosley out for about 3 weeks to this point. So let's see if he plays. If he can't go, it's going to be the rookie Ray Davis from Kentucky or Ty Johnson, the old Jet. He could sneak his way onto the field at times as well. Now, the expectation is Leki Fotu will make his Jets debut. He practiced fully this week. He can really help that run defense for New York. The receivers the Bills have to offer are average at best. Khalil Shakir is their leading wide receiver with 18 catches on 19 targets, 230 yards total. 141 of those are after the catch and 2 touchdowns. And he is the only wide receiver the Bills have who was on this roster last year. But he was out last week with an ankle injury. He has not practiced this week either. It would be a big loss for the Bills offense if he can't go. Keon Coleman, the very tall rookie receiver, has 2 touchdowns. Tight end Dalton Kincaid has the most targets with 24. And at the offensive line, you've got a group of very good pass blockers. You've got Diondawkins at left tackle, who loves to talk trash about the Jets. He comes from Rahway, New Jersey, ironically enough. He is 14th among tackles and pass block win rate. He and michealclemons absolutely despise each other. And then you have Osiris Torrance, good run blocker at right guard. Spencer Brown just got a big contract. I never thought their right tackle was anything too special, but the Bills did keep him in the fold. Now, in the Jets secondary, Michael Carter has a bad back and hamstring. He has not practiced. I don't see any way he plays. I think it's going to be a big game again for Isaiah Oliver. He's going to have to step up. And Buffalo, they began the season averaging over 30 points per game. But in the last 2 games, both losses, they've averaged just 15 per game. What the Jets need to do at the line of scrimmage is they need to win at the line of scrimmage and get to Josh Allen. Because Allen has only faced so much pressure. That's a big reason he has not turned the ball over. So this is a big game for Will McDonald and the rest of the Jets defensive line. How about Quinnenwilliams? I know he gets double teamed a lot, but it's time for him to actually show up, to make an actual difference on the field rather than just occupy 2 blockers. And also, one of the things the Jets do well is they've often been willing to let Josh Allen be patient with the football and then see if he panics after a certain amount of time. He has not been panicking much this season, but let's see what happens. I'll give you a couple of other game notes. Interim coaches. Jets have an interim head coach in Jeff Ulbrich, and since 2010, interim coaches are 16-13 in their first game coaching. Buffalo, they've got a +7 turnover margin. That is tied for the best mark in the NFL, along with Green Bay. They've only given the football away 2 times in 5 games this year. And also, can't forget, Brandon Codrington, the ex-Jet, will be on the return for the Buffalo Bills. However, the Jets are one of the teams that create touchbacks more than any others, so I don't know if Codrington is going to have too many opportunities to return kicks. All right, guys, those are my thoughts on Jets Bills. I've also done a video with my 5 bold predictions. That's where my score prediction is. So check that out if you'd like. And I will be recording after the game the 3 key plays you may not remember that affected the outcome of the game. So definitely check that out as well. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.